sorry we're a little bit late. I had like school stuff for my kids. So I wanted to show you this wonderful tool that I have. It is a quilt in a day ruler. Today we're going to be using the small size, and it makes 2 different size flying geese, and they also have a large size that makes 2 different sizes. And this is how I make flying geese anytime I need to make 4 or more. So last week I was talking about using your scraps, and this is a charm pack. The edge of it is, and this was from the Great Granny Squared book and the Autumn Love fabric collection, and I just loved it so much, and I had some leftover squares. So I thought, what could I do with that? Well, you can make this little pillow. So I kind of came up with this with just, you know, what was left over from last week that we can keep using. The best thing about this ruler is there's no waste. So you actually get, you know, more product. So basically what this is made of is 8 charm squares, a yard for the background and the backing, and like a 1/4 yard, you know, just scrap for the binding, which was also left over, and then I just threw in some rickrack. So I'm going to show you how you can make this whole pillow, but I'm also going to just show you how you can use the ruler, because the ruler's amazing. So these flying geese finish at 1.5 by 3, and to make that, and all of the pattern instructions, can you hand me that, Lily, that little piece?
Which one?
Right there, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So with the ruler, you have all of the sizes, because I actually can never remember them. So when I store my ruler, I store my ruler kind of within the pattern so that I don't use the paper, because I can never remember the measurements. So on this one, you need a 6-inch white square and a 4.5-inch print square. I did starch these, laid them out to dry, and let them dry. But I obviously did that starched before I cut my fabric. So you're going to put them right sides together. I'm going to put 2 pins in. You're just going to kind of center it, doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to use the little 1/4 inch line on the ruler. And you're going to draw a line a 1/4 inch away from the center. So it's going to kind of look like, oops. It's going to kind of look like this. You've got your background fabric. You can also do it the reverse way, but the bigger fabric is going to be your outer fabric on your flying geese, and that's kind of how I remember it. So you just do that. Now I'm going to stitch on the drawn lines real quick. And when you're stitching, it actually will turn out a lot better if you stitch a tad bit towards the center and not directly on the line. So just a little bit, it's like a scant, but the opposite way. And I'm just using color 2000 from Aurifil. I used a friction pin because it's going to disappear with heat later. And you can see I sewed really fast because you don't have to be as accurate with this ruler, and you're going to see why. So now we're going to take it and we're going to just...
Give me 1 second here.
Alright. We're just going to cut in the very center of the 2 lines you made, and you've got 2. Now we're going to press. You can press however you want. I press towards the dark. I'm going to set my seam and press. Set my seam and press. So now you've got these little units and they look kind of funky, right? You're going to place them together like this. So your seams are going the same direction, and it kind of just looks like this. Kind of like that. I'm going to again put 2 pins, and this time we're going to draw the same exact lines the other direction. And now again, I'm gonna sew on these 2 lines, and I'm gonna sew a little bit towards the center. And I'm just gonna sew really fast, because this is really how I sew. And then I'm gonna cut again on that center line and press. You can press to either direction. And you have actually got 4 flying geese. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we've got to cut those down. And so that is what this ruler is made for. You're gonna notice that I put on the back of this ruler some grip strips, and I think that's actually super important because it's acrylic, it doesn't have anything, and you really need it to stay in place. I'm gonna use a rotating mat to do this. You just place the smaller flying geese, and you're just placing the 2 lines that make the triangle, and you're just gonna cut one side, flip, and when you flip it around, you're actually lining up all of these lines. And so with 2 squares, you get 4 flying geese, and so you can see there's no waste. I do want to show you one other thing. So let me cut this one. On the back, you have two flying geese. One is gonna look normal, like you normally piece it, and one's gonna have like a little tag that's like extra that is gonna just be bulky in your seams. So I'm gonna trim that off. And you've got 4 flying geese. So do y'all have any questions on that before I move on to like all the rest of the stuff?
Let's see. We've got lots of people saying hello. We were having some streaming issues, but it looks like we're okay now.
And then we're recording the stream. We have some new equipment, and so it's kind of been acting funny, but we are gonna have it and post it on YouTube, Instagram, Fat Quarter Shop Facebook group, and my Kimberly Stitch Squad group.
All right. Do you mind if we pause just so I can kind of restart it? Sorry, everyone. Someone did ask, do you ever nick your blade on the corner of the ruler?
I actually don't that often, but when I do, it really ruins the blade. But yeah, not very often. Watch, I'll probably do it now I'll probably do it today now. So I was actually able to make this pillow in like 2 hours, I think. So it's quick and easy.
Someone said, I love the ruler, but what do you do when your size doesn't match the ruler?
So there's actually 4 sizes that it will make. Let me show you the 4. If it doesn't, I would just do it the traditional way. Oops, sorry. Sorry. So the small ruler will make a finished size of 3 by 6 or a finished size of 1.5 by 3. And I use the small one today. The large one will make a 2 by 4 finished and a 4 by 8 finished. So if I'm sewing something and it's not one of these sizes, I would just make it the normal way. That's just what I would do. And this is how I store them. I kind of keep them just like this so that my instructions never leave, because I cannot make them without the instructions. And all I really need from the instructions is the square size to start with.
That's funny because someone just said, I've lost my directions for the ruler. Do you know where you can get a copy of it?
You could probably go to quiltinaday.com. It's Eleanor Burns Ruler, and ask them. They probably would tell you.
Alrighty. Still lots of people tuning in, saying hello.
Hi.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have right now.
Okay, so what I did to make my pillow, which is right here, I just came up with it yesterday, was because I had some leftover charm squares from another project. So I basically used 8 print squares, and that gave me 32 rectangles. So I thought, okay, so I just put them in little rows. So it's basically 4 rows by 8, and I just put them the opposite direction so that I could press them and the seams would nest. And then what I did was I used a friction pen again, and I marked 1/2 inch away from each of the flying geese diagonally, and I just marked it both ways. On the back, I used the by Annie Soft and Stable, which I totally love. The reason I love it is because I don't have to pin. When I put this down, I didn't have to pin at all. It just kind of stays, and it gives it a really puffy look. So that's what I used, and I used the Baby Lock Sashiko machine, and everyone's been asking me to show it, so I'm going to show y'all just some stitching on it. How I'm gonna go as fast as it'll go, just so you can see it's not very fast. I want to say Baby Lock is not paying me to do this. I bought my own machine. I'm just showing you for the fun of it. I used 50 weight white, and it worked beautifully, because last week I used 28 weight, and it was like a nightmare. The thread kept breaking. So I think I figured out I probably just need to stick with the 50 weight and not any heavier. I might try the 40 weight, but I was kind of in a hurry. So yeah, you can see on the back, I've kind of just stitched all of them this way and some of them this way. So I'll just start stitching, and you can just kind of see how the machine works. It's not very fast, it is finicky.
Someone is asking, any trouble with the friction pen on a white background?
I don't ever have any trouble. Some people hate the friction pen, so it's really up to you. I live in Texas, super hot here. The friction pen, I guess when you get to, I think it's 28 degrees, it will come back. So, you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I love it. Some people hate it. So this machine just uses this bottom thread. That's all it uses. There is no top thread. This is here because this is where I wind the bobbin. So it's just using the top thread, and you can see that it gives the hand sashiko look because there is a stitch and a space and a stitch and a space, and you can set that on your machine, and on the back it's just a regular stitch. So I'll just start in this little corner, and I just follow the line. That's about as fast as it goes. And this is how I would quilt anything that I was doing. I would put the needle down, just go to my next line, never breaking the thread. Just kind of roll the quilt and just keep going.
Someone said, Kimberly, you have the nicest smile.
Oh, thanks. I've had a crazy morning, so I went to register my daughter for 6th grade, and she had 2 schedule changes, so I've never so you can see it's kind of loud. My husband hates when I use it because it's like super loud. I travel on the edge. That kind of keeps the edges down for later when I put the binding on. Okay, so now I think I can travel all the way over here to this side. I'm not always the most efficient on going in order. I just kind of go wherever. Oh, and I just missed one, but I'll come back to it. So I've only got 2 more lines to go. And it kind of feeds itself. So that's good.
Someone's asking, where did you get the machine?
So I bought it at a quilt store. I mean, at a quilt show, and they shipped it to me. I don't remember the company name, but it's a Baby Lock Sashiko. I think it's the Model 2. There's a Model 1 and a Model 2. So it's the Model 2.
And Sleep and Sarah said, can you say hi, Molly, to show my girl that this is live?
Hi, Molly. That's so funny.
And they say they're enjoying the stream.
Okay, so I think this is my last line. I always kind of have to look on the back.
And Material Girl Studio is asking, what is the advantage of using a Sashiko machine for quilting?
Okay, I'll show you in a second. Let me finish this. Okay, so let's see if you can see it. Let me iron it. Get the lines off, and then I'm going to show you. Basically, it gives a hand stitch look on the front. And I bought it, Corey Yoder showed a lot of projects with it on her blog. So if you go to Corey Yoder's blog, she's got a lot of ideas. It's just a cute stitch. And it gives a very different look than what you would sew traditionally. So you can see, like the stitches, there's a space between the stitches, and you can set the length of the stitch and the space between the stitch. So that's how the front looks. And then the back just looks normal. It's just a normal back. So I think it's just something kind of original, and I honestly just got it because my friends got it and they were all talking about it, and I was like, oh, I gotta get it. And I was frustrated when I first got the machine, but now that I have figured out that 50 weight works the best, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make everything in 50 weight. So that's the quilt top. So from here, I am going to trim a 1/4 inch exactly away from the edge of my quilt top. I always leave a 1/4 inch batting in for when I bind, so that it fills my batting. So that's my next step.
Diane Parker on Facebook is asking, does the machine come with a guide so that you wouldn't have to mark the entire grid?
Does the machine come with a guide? No, but maybe they might have one, but I don't know. Not that I know of. So let's see. So now I've got it trimmed, and here you could just take it and finish it. But I thought it would be really cute with rickrack. Lori Holt's brand new book is called Vintage Christmas, and we did a photo shoot there like 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I don't know, sometime. And she had rickrack on everything, and so it was like so cute. So of course I came home and bought all the rickrack colors. She has like a ton of colors. But I think the green is the best. So we're gonna add rickrack to all 4 sides, and what I do is I pin it down before I sew it, And Lori puts her rickrack right on the edge. She has a tutorial on her blog. Her blog is called Be in My Bonnet. I pull mine in, not even 1/8 of an inch, but just a little bit. And I'm gonna pin all 4 rickracks on, and then we're just gonna baste them down just really quick. I've never done rickrack until yesterday, so I'm sure if you looked at Lori's blog, it would be better than what I'm doing. But yeah, I found that if I didn't pin it when I went to my machine, it just moved around too much. And I used a basting stitch, so it's not as, just moves around. So it's like a little bit in. And I'm going to just add the others. And I just kind of trimmed it haphazard. I'm gonna just trim, I just made it a little bit bigger. And I found that doing all 4 at one time is easier than, because when I first did it, I put 1 row on, stitched, came back, did another row, and I think this comes out much better. And you know, even with this fabric Autumn Love, like blue would be cute, red, any color would work. All of her colors just go together great. So, do y'all have any other questions while I'm just pinning?
So Donut, hope I'm saying that right, says she loves your sewing studio.
Oh, thanks.
And then that's all the comments we have right now. Michael Sloan on Facebook says nice. So that's cool. Hey, we just got a super chat from Teresa.
Hi, thanks.
She says, have a coffee on me. Any idea when the Meet the Maker quilts will be available?
Okay, they have not shipped yet, and I have checked every single day. So apparently it got stuck in customs, but I do check what they ship every day, and it hasn't shipped yet. But I know all of you guys are waiting. So, ow, I just poked myself. But yeah, they haven't shipped yet. But if y'all want, I can put a note on my Kimberly Stitch Squad and say, I think they're gonna arrive this day. They ship everything to us freight, and freight's not really like UPS. So freight sometimes shows up on the day it's supposed to, and sometimes it doesn't. But I could, if y'all want that, I can do that. So I've got this, I've got all the rickrack on, and I'm just gonna baste it down maybe 1/8 of an inch away. So it's only gonna really be securing these edges, which is totally enough. And I'm just gonna turn my machine up to like a 4. And I'm just gonna like, stitch it down and just remove my pins as I go. And the rickrack, Lori was telling me, because you know I never pay attention, and I didn't even know how to do rickrack. I had to text her and say, Lori, how do I do rickrack? So it's 1-inch rickrack. So the curves go in at about 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, which is what your binding is. So it just is going to barely cover, but you want enough sticking out. So.
Michelle McCauley on Instagram is asking, can we see the voice behind the camera? But it's not.
I don't get it. Lily. Oh, she can come around. Yeah, she can. She's awesome. Lily, go around.
I'm coming around. Somebody else is asking, do you ever use invisible thread in the bobbin? I was told not to, but no, some people say it's okay.
So in our group, Kimberly Stitch Squad, you can get on there and talk to Peach Luttrell. She actually, so her name is Lily. She's awesome. Oh, that's so funny. That's what Peach does, and she said that she does it on a Juki, and then that way you see, if you do invisible in the bottom and regular on the top, you're gonna see a regular and invisible and a regular and invisible, and then you don't need a big fancy machine. And she's got some, like, she said, you know, how she does her tension and all that. So if you get into my group on Facebook, Kimberly Stitch Squad, Peach Luttrell can totally hook you up. I'm super scared to mess with tension in a machine. So now I've got all that done. So like you're just like moving around super quick. I am going to put my little pen on here because I have OCD and I want it to stay pretty. Put this in here. What?
The person was like, yay, the mystery woman revealed.
Oh, that's funny. So I'm just gonna clip my rickrack. There's no, I'm just gonna clip off the little edges.
Caroline Jean on Instagram says she's new to quilting and she loves Notion Talk and she watches our channel all the time.
Thanks. I just cut a pin. That's what happens when you cut a pin.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Of course. I just messed up my scissors. I didn't see that pin. Okay, so I did that. Now what I do, and I do this on all of my projects, quilts, table runners, whatever. I'm gonna get new scissors because I just messed this up. I cut a big diagonal right here because I want to get that bulk out when I turn my corner in binding, when I'm pulling the hand stuff over. So I did that. And then all we have to do is put the backing and the binding on. So for the backing, I did a 13.5 by 18.5 inch rectangle, and just pressed it wrong sides together. And when I do this, I just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact, and you can see I've got the selvage on because I made it a little bit bigger that way. This literally is just leftover fabric that is from this other project and then another project that I'm gonna show y'all when the kit ships from Riley Blake. So I did a 3-inch overlap in the back. What this does is it makes an envelope back. And you don't have to stitch down here. You could do a really pretty stitch if you wanted to, but I'm pretty lazy. But that would look really cool with that sashiko. That would have probably, maybe I should do that.
Debbie Shapiro is asking which pins are you using?
So there's two kind of pins I'm using. And Lily can link it later. These are 1 3/8 inch Collins white, I don't know, they have a white on the edge. These are what I use always. These were recommended by Aditya Sitar. One has blue and one has yellow. I like the white better. So now that I came up with that idea, I'm actually gonna do a little pretty stitch real quick. And we're gonna see how that looks on the pillow that's finished.
All right.
So, just gonna see how it looks.
Sorry, Instagram.
That's funny. My phone. Oh, and I didn't charge my phone last night, which is like,
Still going strong.
it's still going, but. Okay. Yeah, so that'll look cute. You can't really see it. It would have been cuter with blue thread, but that's okay. So, this is actually Lori Holt's method. She taught it to me, and you can overlap it more or less. I don't know. I thought 3 was fine. So I'm just gonna put the fold in the center, and I'm at the 12 inch, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna put this one at the 15 inch. My pretty stitch is showing. Now what I'm gonna do, and sometimes I try to skip this step and it never works out good. So I always pin it and then baste it down so that it doesn't move when I attach the top to the bottom. So I'm just gonna baste this down real quick.
Some people just tuning in are asking what sewing machines are you using?
So what I use to piece with every day is a Juki 2010Q. I got it on Amazon. We can link it below if y'all want to see, but it only does a straight stitch, but it is super fast. Like I can show you how fast it goes. This is how fast it goes. So I love this machine because I always have deadlines. So I'm using this. For my top stitch, pretty stitches, I'm using the Baby Lock Sashiko 2. I bought it. Both of these machines I bought. Nobody is paying me to say anything. I also have on the ground a Baby Lock Crescendo, and I love it, but I don't use it to piece. I only use it to quilt, which I'm not really sure I'll use it anymore. I'll probably just use my other one, so I'm not sure why I have it. My mom is super nice, and she bought it for me, but I would never pay that much for a sewing machine because I'm super... you know, I'm really a quilter at heart. I quilt. I do not sew. I don't sew garments. I don't do pretty stitches. This little sashiko is about the prettiest I'm ever gonna get. So then I'm gonna find the center, which would be 1.5 inches in, and I'm just gonna put a little pin. Let's see.
Teresa Sandifer says she loves the insert on the Juki. Where can she get one? I think the way the Juki's inserted into the...
Oh, okay. So this thing is from, I think it's called Quilting Stencils. If you get on Facebook in my group, Kimberly Stitch Squad, and then tag Kimberly Jolly, I'll look it up. Oh, here it is. So Steady. And what you tell them is what machine you have and then what size your insert is. Like Koala has inserts, Horn has inserts, but they're made, those tables are made for a certain size, and it really is not very expensive. So I'm gonna line up the center of my back with the center of my front, and I am gonna baste this down just like I basted down the rickrack. So yeah, I love that insert. On the other machine, I can't have an insert because of the way the bobbin opens. So, yeah, I don't really know. I might sell my crescendo. I don't know.
Karen Santiago says she came in late. Will you be showing this later somewhere?
Yes, so it will be posted on YouTube, and it will be posted on Instagram, on Facebook, and in my Facebook group that is called Kimberly Stitch Squad. It'll probably be posted like an hour after we film, because Lily goes to actually like our work to do it, and I live pretty far from work. Okay, so I'm gonna baste this down with just a really big stitch right on the edge. And you'll notice when I sew, I always have my needle down. And when I sew, that's just how I always sew.
Patchwork and Crafts on Instagram says she loves her Baby Lock Sashiko.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've noticed I'm making a lot smaller projects just to play with it, because I don't really, you know, you have to have something. You can't just sew on it. So I'm coming up with cute stuff I can decorate my house with. Okay, so I've got this. And what I want to do is look on the back to make sure I don't have any puckers, because if I did, then if I just tried to put the binding on without basting it down, it would not work. So I'm going to now just trim the edge right on the edge.
Alright, we do have a question here. Let's see. Noreen Polk Shelby is asking, so can you drop the feed dogs on the Juki and then do free motion quilting?
You can. I have not had luck with that. I don't free motion quilt, so, but a lot of people, it's a popular one for free motion quilting because the throat is big. So yes, I just don't have experience with it. So this is how it looks now, and you're gonna see that, you know, I've put my binding, well, I see a mistake. Look, I cut it and my stitches came off.
Oh no.
So now we gotta restitch it, but this is why, yeah. This happens all the time. So now I just need to restitch this down. And it's better that I noticed it, because you don't want that to happen when you're putting the binding on and then you didn't catch the back. So I'm gonna do it with the back showing first.
We got a question on Instagram. Hi, this is Life Now is asking, do you think a Janome Magnolia is a good starting machine for a quilt?
I think Janomes are great. I've had a Janome. I think they're great, and I like their price points. I just have always said, I think it's ridiculous for anybody to pay like $10,000. Now, I think it's great if you can afford that and you want to do that. I just would rather have shoes. You know what I mean? Like, it's all personal preference, and I just believe in like simple, and sometimes when they're mechanical, I'm just like, that is too many buttons, it's too much. I just want to turn my machine on and go. So now I've got that done. I have already cut 2 strips of binding that are 2.5 inches wide. I am going to join them on the diagonal really quick. And Lily can show you on my machine what I do. I have this tape down. It is just washi tape from Target. So I have this down and I laid it down. It's just my needle and it just goes straight. So I've got a straight line that I can follow so that I don't have to draw a line. So I've got my 2 strips. I am going to pin because if I don't, it will move. And I leave this out, this one out, so I can actually see where I should end. If you don't have that, you're just kind of sewing and you don't know where your line is. So I'm just sewing to the line. I use a pretty tight 1.5, 1.25 stitch for this because you don't want to see the stitches. I'm just going to trim back 1/4 inch, and then we're going to iron this binding. When I do binding, I do press this open. And then put wrong sides together. I usually use the binding, Simplicity binding tape maker. I think they discontinued it, but for something this small, I'm not gonna get it out.
We've had several people ask, where did you get your sewing chairs?
Oh, they are discontinued because somebody has already asked, but they are made by Horn. So I bought those at my local sewing store, and they were made by Horn, which they also make cabinets. I've had them for probably 3 or 4 years. I like them because they're comfortable, and they're not, they're not ugly. So, but I'm sure they have something similar. But yeah, somebody already asked that, and then we figured out they were discontinued. And you can see, like, there's thread covered in them. I need to clean them, but
Rachel on Facebook says she's new to sewing. What is the washi tape used for?
Okay, so when you are, let me get 2 pieces of fabric real quick out of my junk drawer. Can you back me up? Yeah, there, okay. I just have fabric everywhere. So, if you, this is too big to demonstrate, but let me cut this. Let me cut this real quick.
Somebody's asking, where did you get your watch band?
Oh, Casetify.com. That's that Facebook marketing stuff working. I'm gonna tell you that because it's Facebook. I buy so much stuff from Facebook marketing. So yeah, I love it because it's a little big, but it's like kind of like fake plastic, but it's very plasticky. So if it gets wet or if you sweat, it doesn't like stick. Anyway, okay. So what you do is if you needed to go from corner to corner, for example, and you don't want to draw a line, I have this tape here. Let me see if I have some. I can show you how you place it down. Here it is. See, it's Scotch tape. So this is what you would do. Is you would lift your foot, take your tape, and you want to be right where your needle is. You just come a little bit forward and you just tape it down. That means it's straight from the needle. So now I can just follow. I can just follow this fabric right here with my tape. And I've gone corner to corner perfectly with no line, not having to draw a line. So it just saves me time. So now all we have to do is put our binding on. So I mean, most of y'all probably know how to do binding, but I'll just show you. I'll just start and show you a little bit, I guess.
We've also got lots of videos if they want to check those out.
Yeah, so we have videos on binding. So yeah, I would just, this is how it looks when it's done. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. We have a really cute tutorial next week. I have a couple things lined up and planned. But if you have ideas or things you want to know how to use, just tell me. If you haven't tried this ruler, I would definitely try it. I always, you know, I don't have a lot of fancy tools or like gadgets, but I learned this like so long ago. So I've had these rulers forever, and I think they really work. So yeah, and definitely subscribe to all our stuff. YouTube, Fat Quarter Shop, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, all of it. And then join my Facebook group. And if you have any other questions from today, just put it on the group.
Alrighty. Okay, and what is that group called?
It's called Kimberly's Stitch Squad, and it's on Facebook.
Alright, let me just put that up there so everyone can see it. Kimberly's Stitch Squad. Can you ask everyone to give us a thumbs up?
Oh yeah, on this.
It can be Instagram, Facebook.
Oh yeah, and give us a thumbs up somewhere.
Alrighty. Give me 1 second.